Hello everyone. So I'm trying to add our guest speaker, Linda.
Hi.
Hi, Linda. Good to
Hi.
see you.
So good to
How
see
are
you.
you?
I'm very well.
Good.
I'm very well, thank you. Good to
Okay.
be here.
Good evening.
Good evening. How's it
Okay.
going? I see that you're even
Hi.
more excited than I am.
You know why I'm excited? Because I just got back from work like about 30 minutes ago.
Wow, and you look really fly, like really good.
Thank you.
Actually. How are you now?
How
How's
are
it
you
going?
doing?
I'm well. Well, thank you so much for having me on your show.
Oh,
I hope
thank
I
you for
can.
accepting
No
without
problem.
any stress. Okay. So do we wait for a while? Let's see. I'm sure people are there. It's just that network can be very
It'd
funny.
be good to wait for like a few, maybe like seconds
Minutes.
to just let's have people coming.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Linda, the power woman. Don't mind me, everyone, though. That's how I am.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's good. I totally understand. So, but for me today, really, I don't think it's more about me just talking and talking. I think for me, it's about just sharing my knowledge and experience from other businesses that I have worked with. So it'll be, I think for the people listening, since they also have businesses, they will also be sharing and will be sharing knowledge. So for me, it's not like teaching. It's like I'm going to be learning
Hmm.
from them, and then I'm going to be sharing some things that I have learned
Yeah.
dealing with some businesses over the years. So I'm sure it will be really very interesting and interactive based on the kind of questions that we're going to answer. So
Yes. Yeah. Okay. But before we start, I'd just like to do a brief introduction. My name is Imelda, everyone. Imelda Osoro Laoye. And well, sort of like I'm the founder of Business Women Hub, something I'm very passionate about. I'm extremely passionate about women and women empowerment, ensuring that women get the best out of everything. And yeah, this is my own little way of contributing to the success of women, um, in Nigeria. And that's it about me, basically. So I'd like to share a little about Linda. Linda is a seasoned marketing and sales professional with over 10 years of working experience. She's currently the head of online and digital sales at Business Day Media Limited. Business Day is West Africa's leading provider of business intelligence and information on diversified media platforms. Linda is responsible for a sales portfolio of over 200 million naira per annum, and she manages a team of 5 sales staff to achieve this over $300,000 per annum. Her experience in B2B sales is complemented by her educational background. Linda holds a master's degree in management from the University of Surrey, and she has a bachelor's degree in business management. As the head of online sales and digital platforms, Linda is in charge of running and managing the department. She's responsible for the digital expansion at Business Day Media, which includes reforms and redesigns on the site, increasing the paid subscriber base, and much more. As the head of online sales, she is responsible for managing all team members, including online editors, graphic designers, marketers, um, social media team, and app construction team. Linda is also responsible for creating different marketing strategies to attract and retain an array of customers. And she's also responsible for creating and selling innovative products and services to the customer base. Linda is an avid panel speaker, having spoken at notable conferences like Social Media Week and other conferences worldwide. Linda is also the convener of the Festac Children's Fun Fair, a yearly event for kids. And she writes movie reviews for Business Day. She's the host of a new online series called The African SME Story. She's passionate about training and impacting lives. And in all of this, I thought of, when I thought about the topic, I was like, who fits this topic best? The business instead, the African SME story. Linda has been supporting SMEs. I've known her to support SMEs right from when I met her. So I thought about that. Linda is like the one of the best people about possibilities of getting business support, and then also the challenges around it. Managing a team of that capacity definitely involves a lot of entrepreneurship spirit, and Linda has it, and so she's in the best place to talk to ladies that have micro and small businesses about raising funds, getting business support to grow their businesses, ways to grow their businesses, which is what Business Women Hub is about. Anyway, Business Women Hub is about empowering ladies to grow their businesses. If you think that you have a small business now, a micro business that just generates 50 naira profits, how can you grow that business that generates 500 naira profit? How can you grow it to become an empire? You don't have to start all big and everything. No. How do you grow that small business, that micro business, into a large empire? That's what Business Women Hub is about. So, Linda, now I've said a lot of things. So over to you now, Linda. Yeah. So first, I'm sure that the ladies would like to hear what you think about micro and small businesses, because that's the business that we are focused on anyway. We're focused on micro businesses, small businesses, basically, as a platform. So what do you think about micro and small businesses in Nigeria, especially the ones that are run by females?
Okay, so thank you very much, Imelda. It's actually really nice to be on the show, and it's flipped. So I'm always on the other side, interviewing people and reading their profile and questioning them, and they're answering on the hot seat. But today it's like the other way around.
The other way around.
Someone, read my profile. It's really funny. Now I know how they feel when I'm reading everything that they have done. But it's really good. So working business there has been good, and I have had the opportunity to work with a lot of SMEs. And I totally believe strongly that the economy is dependent on them. And why do I say that? The honest truth is that most of the businesses in Nigeria, like 95% of them, are run by SMEs, like small and medium scale guys. And you also have a larger number in the macro level. So just a very few companies are in that high radar where you talk of the banks and the FMCG, that the really very big companies. The rest of the other companies all fall within the SME and the MSME space. So we really need them. Now come to think about it also in another way, in the sense that they also employ a good number. So you can imagine if we have 1 million SME businesses employing just 5 to 10 people, that means that they are actually employing 10 million people, as compared to, if you compare to the banks, the FMCG, and then government parastatal. It means that we need these SME guys to succeed. If anything happens to these companies in this sector, then we are going to be in deep trouble, because everything is going to crumble. And when I say everything is going to crumble, I'm talking about their families, I'm talking about their homes, I'm talking about a 360 degree, society. So, and that's why most countries that have done well have found out ways to encourage and help the SMEs, because they know that they are like the brain box of the country. If you remove that, everything is going to fall apart. I know that if we also help and support these SMEs properly and they succeed, which means that we can move them from just employing 5 to 10 people to scaling them to employing 30 to 50 people, multiply that by a million again. That means we're taking off 50 million people off the labor market and we're employing them. So it's important that we make sure that these SMEs survive, because we really do need them. We also see how we can continuously help them pass beyond all the struggles that they're in business as well. Answer that question. That network is
Yes,
was I
yes,
able to
yes,
answer the question?
yes, you were. Yes, you were, Linda. Now, particular women, I know that for certain reasons, studies and then research, women SMEs really have like a lot of more challenges from what studies have shown. Why? Because a lot of times when a woman wants to start a business, they see it as, oh, you have to run especially for the ones that are married, you have to run the family, So it's very, very challenging in all areas. They just see it as something to support the family. They don't see it as a core source of income.
Sorry about.
I think we had a little bit of glitch there. Did you hear me completely? Did you
Yeah,
hear
you
me?
were you
Okay.
stopped. I heard where you said they don't see it as a core.
Or a full what's the word now? A full business platform. They see it as that, like I was saying earlier, network is quite bad, so I have to repeat myself. They see it
Sorry.
as a means of support, not a means of generating, not a means of income, not a means of creating employment. Still running the home front as well. They don't have the time to actually nurture this business into um, being a very blossoming one. Exactly. They don't have that time. There's the issue of time. There's also the issue of even accessing business support or funding. They don't know where to get all this from. And then even when it's time to get,
That could work.
oh,
Network is
okay.
really breaking.
Yeah, really bad. I'm back now.
Sorry. So I think I get a
Sorry
hold
about
of.
that.
I get the hang of your question. So for me, I think the SMEs, the businesses that are controlled by women are doing really great. Trust me, it takes a lot. And you can see the passion when a woman is running a business. She's extremely very passionate about it. She tries to put in her all, despite the fact that she might be busy, she might have a family, and she might have kids. I've actually interviewed a few people, and I see them trying to juggle between the interview and the business and the kids. It's
Of course.
normal. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. But one other thing I think that we need to do, in the society is to see how we can give them a bit more support. Trust me, there've been a lot of companies and foundations and funds set aside to help women. The only thing that most people lack is the information. And apart from the
Yeah.
information, also, do I have the right things I need? And it's something that I'm really going to dwell on today, telling people what do you really need if you are going to get to the point that you need to access funds. But one other problem, which you mentioned also, is the fact that women run their business. I'll use the word as side hustle. So when you say side hustle,
Mm.
it means that you're just trying to make some extra income here and there just to support feeding and children. Most of them do not sit down and have a proper business plan where they run it like a proper business. That's the problem. So she sells, let's say she sells plantain chips. Don't mind me, I like plantain chips. So she has some customer, she sells 1 to 10 packs a week. In a month, she sells 50. She makes like maybe 200K. In that 200K, she's not even sure what her profit is. All she knows is that I'm selling plantain chips and I make 200K. But I don't know how much is my capital. I don't know how much is my interest. I don't know how much is my profit. So that brings us to a very big problem of no proper bookkeeping records for these
Bookkeeping.
businesses.
Yeah.
So
Which is a
small
big problem.
businesses just run, I make money, but am I profitable? They are not sure. Am I sustainable? They are also not sure. So I think today we should be able to try and draw the line between I'm running a proper business, as in proper business, and I have
Yeah.
a side hustle that brings me
Side
income. So let
hustle.
me also give an example of a side hustle. So I travel, I buy clothes here and there, shoes, slippers, bags as extra box. I come back, I sell, make some money to cover up my ticket and so that's not a business, that's a side hustle. So most women, when they are ready to run a proper business, they should sit down and I'm going to talk about some documents they need to help them move away from side hustle to being a proper structured business. Now, if you have a side hustle, you cannot get money from the bank. Nobody wants to give money for side hustle. You can't even account for it. So you just sell chips here and there and you make 200K. That's not a business. You're making money. You can call that cash in and cash out, but it's not a proper business. But when we get to that point, I would outline what they need and how they need to go about it from moving from just doing business to I have a proper company. That's how they can access it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for your answer, Linda. That has really expanded on what I've been saying. Women, lots of times don't start businesses with that mindset of I want to own a company. It is done from the side hustle thing. I just want to support for the married ones or extra income.
That's
That's
the
the word they use now. They
that's the
use
word.
that word a lot. Extra income, extra income.
That's the
So
word.
when you have that mindset, there is really no, as you said, Linda, there is no proper documentation. You don't
Nothing.
know how much. There's nothing like, oh, let me measure profit and loss. How much did I make? How much? There's no bookkeeping,
As
nothing. So as Linda has said here, there are lots of opportunities, in terms of
lots.
business support for SMEs. Lots of opportunities, lots of ways to raise funds, lots of ways you can get money to expand your business. But of course, if you don't have this record to show, nobody is going to support you. Nobody is going to be interested in what you have to. Ideas does not mean money.
At
That's
all.
the that's that.
I think that's the core. Idea doesn't make money. I have to take that
Does
to
not
heart.
make money. Exactly. Thank you for your explanation, Linda.
You're
And
welcome.
then now, for those ones because there are a couple of some of them who are like, oh, I want to actually start a business. But there's this thing of, what am I going to do? How am I going to get money? There's some type of businesses you want to go into where you actually need money to produce, especially the ones that are producing. You need to produce first, and then, when you're producing in bits, you can't really break even when you're producing in bits. Especially, for instance, maybe I make cream, I make production generally. I make furniture, I make soft furniture, I make hard furniture. For those kind of businesses, you would actually need to showcase what you have done. You understand? So for those kind of people, are there really an awareness of support for those kind of people? Is there you mentioned something, you said something about, oh, women don't really know knowledge, which where I also agree to, because a lot of times knowledge is a big problem. Ignorance, they don't know what, especially with female owned businesses, they don't really know how to go, especially the ones that are just starting, they don't know where to go to, they don't know who to talk to, there's no proper mentorship, trying to use the right words. So I do think that the awareness is enough. You've agreed now that those opportunities are there. We've both agreed that they are there. But in terms of awareness, do people really know that? Do you think that there's enough publicity or enough awareness about this support system?
Okay, so I think that we're doing okay, but maybe not 100%. So, but there's a lot of awareness, and I'm going to talk about, let's say, the role of the media in this support towards providing this information. So, the media, we are supposed to tell people about what's happening in terms of their business, about how they can access funds and all that. And we're doing a lot, but we can't do more than, because we also need the private sector and the public sector to create enough forums for these people to access. Now, what the media, that, let's say, for instance, Business Day is doing, is that we're trying to provide this information. I will share the links with you so that you can share with the group, and then they can click on it and go and read the information we've been able to put together over this year concerning access to fundings and business, and money, like access to fundings for small businesses, whether they are female or male. Now, these stories and all that have created information, that will tell you, okay, this bank, for instance, Bank of Industry is giving, Development Bank is giving, CBN is giving. When you click on that link, you read all the stories and they're telling you how much. So people should also understand that these funds are for business, because most times, I'll talk about that again towards the end, people collect funds and then they use them for other things instead of what they're collecting money for. And that's where we have a problem. So the media houses try to tell people about this news and information that the CBN and co have provided, so that they can see how they can access. We also have that they can actually go directly to the website of this word. So that's where technology comes in. Technology has made it easy. You don't have to go there in person. You can go to CBN website, click on how do I apply for funds. They tell you details, tell you documents that they need and how you can access it. We will go to the problems why they can't access this money. I will talk about that. That's what the problem is. So it's not about the fact that we don't have this funds.
Availability.
The problem is, can I access this money? How? And what do I need to access money? They don't have it, and that's why they don't even pass the first stage of the application. So we provide information on the website, we have podcasts, we have TV shows, and the African SME show is one that we thought to ourselves, how do we work with support for African SMEs to see how we can propagate hope even in the midst of this problem? So we know that some businesses are failing and dying. Yes, no doubt. We also know that some businesses are doing really well. Now we want to tell their story so that you know what they're doing and how you can learn from them. So I tell people, you don't have to make the same mistake. If someone has made that mistake and has learned, you can learn from that person and avoid that route and then do your business better. So creating TV shows like that is also another way that the media houses are saying, oh, we want to talk about SMEs and what they're doing. We want to pass the message across that we need to support. What the show has done most times for me is that every week I speak to a different SME. I learn something totally different about where they started from, where they are, and what they are facing, and the problems. And then each week, each of them says, these are the challenges that we have. And this is where we want the government to intervene. So it's like a forum telling the government, this is what you need to do to help these guys, because if they die, they're going to lose their money, their funds, and the people that they employ. So it's key and important that we tell the story. So there's the news on the website, the podcast, the TV shows. And for us, we always try to be creative and innovative all the time. So for us, that's why I said today is going to be a case of me learning also from your community. What do they think that they might want to have from the media to help them be better. What we also did last year was try to create like a rate card for SMEs. We know that they cannot afford that high rates for the full page and all that. So we
Yeah.
created the kind of package for them. Can we create videos for you? Can we create an online platform for you to advertise your business? And can we also create a platform for you to advertise in print? And it was okay. Some of them took it up. But the other problem, really, where information is problem, is that most SMEs do not see the need for publicity and media. So they say, I don't have money to spend. And I tell people, you can't make money if you don't spend money. And if I don't know about your business, how on earth am I going to buy from you? So there are key ways they can do that. So you can work with websites to advertise. You can even do that through social media now. It's made it so seamless and easy. You can have your own website. But if you've been running a business and nobody has come to buy, then something is wrong. So you have a good product but no marketing. So you need to have the two. Have a good product and have good marketing and have good platforms to showcase your product to people. Let people know what to do. In that way, you will be able to make more money from the small 5, maybe you're selling 5 or 50. You can imagine if you're advertising and you're selling 5,000. Do you know how much that's going to be to your revenue? So that's where SMEs, I think the SMEs really need to have like a rethink and a mindset shift from, I want to hold all the money, do everything myself, to where I need help. Can I get help? Can I get help with managing my social media page? Can I get help with someone advising me how do I market and put my, push my product out there? Can I get help with joining a community? Like, your community is fantastic. We're sharing knowledge, we're sharing information. So that's key. I ask people, which network do you belong to? If you don't have the right network, who's going to buy? Nobody's going to buy. So those things are key things that SMEs will need.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Linda. You really mentioned something now that hits me. A lot of times, as small business owners, people just want to sell. They're just looking for ways to just sell, and then not forget that at the end of the day, you're just looking at now. What of the future? You mentioned something. If you can look for ways to access 5,000 people, why don't you do that instead of struggling around a circle of 10 persons, and then at the end of the day, you're frustrated? And there was something that we shared, and I'm sure you saw it on the group, on the WhatsApp group. Yes. Where we're saying that also you hit, you try, and then you double around and you stop. Because first, there is no right support. You don't have enough support. You're not talking to the right people. You think you can do everything yourself, and then also you're not asking the right questions, and you don't have the right mindset about your business. You feel that your business is side hustle. So we're taking one thing from Linda here, and I think that everybody within the community has as well. First, mindset is very important. You need to know what you're doing. You need to understand that do you want to run a side hustle, like Sha said, or you want to own a company? Let's use the right word here, not business, company, where you're employing people. Yes, where you're solving a problem, and then you are employing people as well. It's very important that people understand that. Thank you very much, Linda. And then, like you mentioned, please, we're going to give opportunity for everyone to comment. You can drop comments. You can even start dropping comments now. You observe anything, you have any question, you can please drop a note. We'll see it and then we'll attend to it. And then Belinda has mentioned that if you feel that there's anything that you think the media can do to also further help, in publicity for small businesses, support and all of that, you can also reach out to us, and then there's a way that can be handled. She also mentioned that Business has a rate card for SMEs, so that side is really has been analyzed. Those things are in place. The most important thing is, what do you want to do? That's what is important. Thank you, Linda. And I had a question for you for this media person. Before you mentioned before you even mentioned media, there's a question for you as regards media personnel. I was asking that, what's the role of the media in supporting small businesses? And you've actually mentioned, and I know, in reality, there are media platforms that are supporting small businesses. I know that, I'm aware of that. Welcome everyone who has just joined in. We're happy to see you here. Thank you for joining in out of your busy schedule. Thank you for joining us. But Linda, now let me not answer for media. Do you think it is enough? Do you think it is enough?
No, so
Because
I said
you
that
mentioned
earlier.
that.
It's not enough.
Mm,
So that's why I asked if people have ideas on what they think the media can do for them. That's why I come in to see how we can learn and do more. We're doing our very best, but I know that there's always room for improvement and that we can do more. So please, if they think that there's anything that they want the media to do for them, they should say it. We'll all just go back, look at it, and say, okay, how can we support these guys better? So it's not that we're not supporting them at all, but can we support them better to be able to achieve what they want to achieve?
mm. Thank you so much, Linda. Now I have another question here. How do you think SMEs should approach the issue of funding?
Okay.
What are the expectations from fund givers? That is what we've been talking about it from the beginning, that we're going to address this side of the conversation. We know that funding is available. We know that there are people who can support us. If you have a good, you can show, you have proof for what they're going to put their money in for. Now, what we want to address now is how you think SMEs should approach the issue of funding for their businesses. How do you think they should approach that issue? And then what are the expectations from fund givers?
Okay. I'm really very happy and excited. This is like the sweet part of this whole discussion and conversation because this is the side I've been waiting for. So what I did was I tried to break it down, apart from reading and researching and all that. I tried to break it down into 3 levels, right? I want to tell them what they are looking for. What do you need to have before they give you funds? And then the second one will be, what are my ideas that you can use to get fundings? Before I get to the third part where I would now talk about the other guys that are giving funds. So I always advise SMEs that the last resort should be loans and seeking for help from outside. You can start and run a business from within, and those are the steps I want to give them. When you have utilized all these steps and you are extremely sure that you still really, really, really need funds to expand, then we go there. So one problem I've noticed also, which are part of the reasons that most banks don't give SME loans, that there's this social problem. When they take funds, the first thing they do, instead of using the money for the business that they collected for, is that they go to buy things that they need. So you hear where an SME collects a loan of 10 million and is going to buy a car, going to buy a house. Those things are not necessary at that point, and that was not what he asked for. So these things are things that we'll need to mention. So the challenges affecting these guys are that they sometimes don't use this money for the right things that they say that they want to use it for. Sometimes the process to assessing these funds can be complicated and complex, where they ask you, bring this, bring that, come here, come. That's how it is. They need to really scrutinize you to be sure that you really need this money. And then you also have cases of infrastructure as being a problem. Like in Nigeria, you are facing every problem yourself. Light, road, car, wahala, talent. Everything is your business. Just sort it out. They don't really care. But when it's time, they're going to come and ask you to show your books, but that's it. And then we also have financial and social problem where people misuse the funds. But first, I would like to say that, having researched and spoken to a few people about why SMEs do not access this loan, the number one reason, like the first big reason, is that they do not have a bankable and viable business plan. So most SMEs do not have a concept note. They do not have anything prepared. They just tell you, hey, Emelda, I'm selling, I'm running a business. And you're asking them, okay, do you have anything to show me? Do you have a proposal? Do you have a concept note? Concept note. No, I've been buying and selling now. I buy like 500K. I make profit like 100, 200. And they're wondering, okay, so who's going to give you money? Every SME needs to have a very good business plan, well arranged, well outlined. And this is where networking with people come in. You need to find help. If you don't know how to write it and you have the idea, like you said, Imelda, you need to now go and meet people who can help you put it together. Oh, so hey, this consulting firm, I have this idea, but I don't know how to arrange it to look good, to be able to prove to somebody that I'm doing a good, profitable business, and then I need money. So number one, if you don't have this thing, no bank, nobody's giving you money. If your friends look at you and say, you're running a business, you don't have a business plan. So what am I investing in? How do I invest in it? What am I going to get? There's no concept. Number two problem, we have talked about it, is no proper bookkeeping records. So someone is running a business and she's using her personal account. She can't keep track. So she makes 500K. She spends 400. She doesn't know how much is the profit. She doesn't know how much is the loss. Nothing, no record. So a few weeks ago, I actually brought like a small business bookkeeping consultant to speak to SMEs, like what you need to do to even keep your records. And the major problem is, apart from the fact that you might even need an external tax person or consultant to help you keep your books, because you don't have a proper bank account for it and it's in your account, it's so mixed up and molded up, we can't even separate it. So you buy this, you sell this, and there's no records. If you have like a proper book, right? So you have receipts. I received this money. I spent this money. I bought this raw material. I spent this in processing it. And so the bookkeeping person can even impute cash in, cash out, and at the end. But because there's no account and nothing, she can't even help you. So you've been doing this business for 5 years and you're going to her, she says, where are the records? You don't have any receipts and invoices. So she cannot even put anything together to help you go and attend the loan. So that's a no-no. You're not going to get that money. Now, you also said something about side hustle and business. The business must be registered. So that's where you come with that word, a company. CAC registered company. What's your company name? How long have you been running business with? Do you have shareholders? Do you have partners? Who is working with you on this? What documents do you have? It's not just about having a business name like, oh, ABC clothing line. I'm selling clothes. No. Proper company. So when you do have that, you have people who you're responsible to, and you have records, and you have an account. So the money comes in and out. Now your bookkeeping accountant or whatever can help you put those records together. Now, when you also go to the bank for money, they're also going to need you to state, where are you now? Where were you 5 years ago? And where do you want to be? You mentioned that about people running business with no vision, no plan, no goals, no mission, no direction, but they are just buying and selling. That's not a business. That's not a company. That's a side hustle. It's okay. You want to keep it at that. But if you're going to run it properly, then you have to have this outlined in a proper business plan. If you can do that, yeah, they probably will give you money. Now, when people talk about having a side hustle and having a business, now if you remember that video, if you are really passionate about the business, you will not give up. You might have some downtimes, you might have some times where you fail, you might go back, but you need to come back again to that business. So I tell people, if this business failed, what are you doing to bring it back to life? Can you go and work, save some money, and come back and continue the business? Can you start another business to help you finance this business? There are so many other ways you can actually raise money. But I tell people, when you go to the bank for money, they know, they can smell if you are really passionate and you are determined to let this business grow. And they want to see that you have invested your money and maybe your family and friends in the business. So I tell people, so you come to the bank for a loan. You've done the business for maybe 6 months to 1 year, and then the bank asks you, how much have you invested? And you say, I've not really put any money. I'm just hoping that you give me the money to start. Nobody's going to give you that money. They want to see that you are willing to take the risk in that business. You are willing to put your stake in the business, run it for a while, see if it fails or not, and then come back after 5 years where you have succeeded, and then they'll give you money. Nobody wants to put their money in a business that will fail. It means that if all the banks give money to SMEs and they don't come back, we're all going to lose the money, and the economy is going to still fall. So you have to really, really put in that effort, and put in that struggle. And this brings me to the point where I ask people, your product, how marketable is your product? How good is your product? How good is your packaging? Do you have a website? Do you have a social media? Who are your competitors? Are you even making profits? And then you also hear people say, the bank didn't give me money. And I ask people, before the bank will give you money, you need to have been able to build what is called trust and integrity. And if you have trust and integrity, your friends and your family should be able to give you some of the money, except you are looking for like 500 million here. I'm like, okay, this is a lot of money to use bootstrapping for, where you're asking your family and your friends. That now is way over. But before you get to that point, you should be able to raise 500K, 200K, 1 million here and there from your real friends and from your family. And which will also lead me to saying that if you have the right network and the right community of friends and people in business like yours, you can work with them in saying, oh, let's what the Nigerians call Ususu group. I know I mentioned that to you, and let's create like a forum whereby we can help ourselves by ourselves for ourselves. So we're setting aside funds of maybe 5K or 10K every month, putting it together to help our members, and at a very low percentage, maybe between 2, 3, 5%. Take your time. So every month, someone can access this pool of funds by this committee, and you're growing the business without having a headache. Now, let me really sound like a small note of warning. When you start a business and the first thing you do is go and borrow money, you might end up getting into trouble because you are tied to that debt, which means I see some people start up a business and they go straight up to borrowing money. They end up working for the loan. They are no longer running the business. They are struggling with every week trying to pay. Oh God, I've not paid. If I don't pay, they're going to come and take my car. They're going to come and take my building, and then they struggle with it. So I'm asking myself, do you want that headache and hassle? Or do you want to be able to run a profitable business for a while, and then after, when you're sure how you're going to make money, how you're going to pay back this money, then you can absolutely then go for a loan. So there's a process, to this. I'll need to charge my phone. I hope I've been able to answer that question with the issues that they have. Now, when we go to other stuffs now, so what else can they do before I go to the part of the loan? Like, I would want to talk about some things they can do before I now start talking about how they can assess. Could you give me a second? My battery is running low. Just give me
Yes, yes, that's fine. Please, ladies, and I'm sure we have some guest gentlemen here. If you have any questions, please put it up in the comments. Please, we're going to see the questions and then we can take them. If you don't want to put it up now, we have our link to our WhatsApp group in the bio of Business Women Hub, businesswomen_hub. You can go to the page if you're not following us, and then join through that link. As Linda has said, generally, if you want to start a business, you need, if you know that you don't have money to start a business, because the truth of the matter is no bank will give you money if you have not shown anything. Banks give money to people who already have like a structure. Now, if you feel that you don't have the funds to get that structure, Linda has mentioned here that family and friends, and then your network. And that's why we have platforms like Business Women Hub, where people can join in, and then we're looking at ways where we can generate funds or support our businesses in general. Because the truth is, when you start with your minimal first investment, you will need to advertise, you will need to market so people can buy. Because by the time you now start buying, that's when you will start getting money, and then you can go and ask for money for expansion. Basically, like Linda has said, banks give money for expansion. That's the way I see it, not necessarily to start. So you need a network that can even help you say, okay, let's start from somewhere. And when they give, but even for that network to give you, you need to have a plan. So you need to be able to show your plan that it is very viable. You understand? You need to be convinced yourself that if I start this thing, I'm going to finish. And even you cannot be convinced yourself if you don't have a future. If you cannot think of the future of your business. Okay. For instance, you're making body cream. Did you just start making the cream because you are seeing everybody is using making organic cream skincare products? But that's why you now decided to also go and produce yours. But did you go through a process of testing? You need to first of all test that product to see that it will work on people. Does it solve that problem? Because every business has to come into play because it is solving a problem. That's what a lot of SMEs don't know in reality. And Linda has mentioned it here. If it's your business, not what problem is it solving, first of all? Because that's when you can even market it. That, oh, you should, this is why you should buy my own. No, because if you buy my own, this is what it's going to do. So you need to test it, business plan, and then get a network where you can, if you don't have money to start, they can support you. Then you start, and then you can now reach out for expansion. I just did a summary of what Linda has said for those who just joined.
You totally nailed it, like you killed it. So I said I'd broken it down into 3 steps, right? So
Yes.
why you're not getting the money, because you don't have the required documents. And the next step will be,
Yes.
what other ways can I raise this money before I fall to the bank? So number 1 will be, I tell people, if you're going to start a business, why not work, save, and then start the business? So some people want somebody else to invest in their business, and I'm like, you are joking. You go and work for someone else, probably learn the ropes, learn the job, learn how this business runs, save the money. And people want to see that you have the initial capital to start the business. Once you can prove and you can show that, fantastic, they're also going to help you and give you the money. Number 2, you could get funds from family and friends. I said people, if your family members cannot believe in you to give you money, and your friends cannot trust you to give you money, I don't think anybody else can give you money. You would even use that as a proof to the bank that, see, I'm bankable. My friends have invested 5 million in me. My family have given me 5 million. And with the money I saved, I put in 5 million, which shows that I have integrity and I can run a business. And bank, I need your help. Then they will listen to you, because they say, okay, for people to trust this person with 5 million, if I give him my 5 million, he's not going to run. So that's really key in going out for that. Now, I think you don't. So there's a book I read on how to start a business without money. I shared it with you. You can share it with the group. That book was fantastic. I think it was by kids. Really, really good book. So everybody was saying, I want to start business and I need money. And I tell people, you don't always have to have 10 billion in your account to start a business. Start small. Somebody here was saying, start small. Just start from your room, move to your sitting room, then move to the garage. Just take it gently, and then show that you are moving at, even if it's baby steps, but just show progress every week, every month. And that's what the bank wants to see when they want to give you money. Now, when we say that people should start small, people always worry that, I don't want to start small, I want to be a big company. And I'm like, fine, you will be a big company, but you can take it gently with time and then use other means of making money. So number 3 will be use partners. So I tell people, when I have an idea, I'm thinking, which of my friends can I work with? Which of my friends can I partner with? Which of my friends is already doing this? Which person has this idea? Most of the people are afraid to share their ideas. I think that everybody's going to steal their idea. I don't tell anybody my idea. Or if I tell somebody now, they might go and steal my idea. And I'm like, that's why you're going to keep getting stressed and dying out, because you are not seeking help and advice where it is necessary or where it's needed. Just ask people, partner with people. So, for instance, now I'm very good with accounting. I'll go and look for somebody who's good in marketing. I'll look for someone who's good with looking for clients. I'll look for someone who's good with the technology. Once I have those people, I'll say, okay, this is what my company is worth. This is 100%. Everybody take 10, 10. I tell people that you can actually grow bigger when you have 10% of 100 billion than when you have 100% of a 1 million naira business. Like, seriously, why can't you grow faster? Then if you go to number 4, I tell people we can also use equity. So just give part of your shares to someone who wants to invest. Just make sure that that person has the same vision and plans with you and is in line with what you want to do and what you want to achieve. That's another fantastic way. Number 5, you could get people in who can work with you and just give them shares. So you can say, hey, I want you to help me build this website, but I don't have money. I'll give you 5% of my business. This is why you need to have a business plan and a lawyer who says, hey, don't give. You've seen some people that they will start small and they'll just give out 10, 10, 10, and they find out one day that the company grows really big and they've given out 60% of the company and they're not even the main shareholders again. Now, they didn't have a proper plan and they didn't know how to share. So please seek advice and seek help from a lawyer when you decide to give equity or shares to people to work with your business. Number 6 is, as I said earlier, I can never underestimate the importance of joining communities and joining groups like yours. Join the right group that can help your business. If you are an expert, join an expert group. If you are an agric, join an agric group. If you are a woman in business, join a woman, just join any group that's for women talking about business. Make sure that you are gaining and benefiting from that group. It will help you because they will share information concerning your business. You might never know it. Somebody there too might want to buy your product or link you up to somebody. So be in the right circle. That will definitely help your business. That circle also concerns having the right networks. Do you even tell people what to do? Some people contact me and say, "Hey, Linda, you haven't called me. I have a business." I say, "You have a business? I've never seen you post anything on your WhatsApp now. I've never seen you share anything on your Instagram. I've never seen you tell anybody about your business." Say, "I've been running the business codedly." I said, "Then how will you sell? Until you're ready to bring this business to the limelight, you'll be having coded
Coded
sales
selling.
now." I don't understand. If nobody knows what you're doing, how do you expect me to interview you? Say, "We run a business, you didn't interview me." I cannot interview you. I don't know you. Nobody knows you. Come out. Talk about your business. And it's not in the light that I don't want to talk about your business, but in the light that people wondering, who is this? Where did this one come out from? But there are some businesses you will talk to and everybody's like, I like this business. I've seen them here. You need to do the work. Like, do the work that concerns your business. Let your family and friends spread the word for your business. Let your neighbors know you do the business. Let everybody around you know you run a business. Don't do a coded side hustle and then expect people to know that you are doing a business. Then I also talked about research. Most SMEs don't read. They don't know what's happening in their industry. They don't know what's happening in their sector. They don't know the new rules and regulations. And nobody can provide you that information but yourself. So you need to research. You need to read. You need to find out what's happening. And I tell people, I don't know what you're doing on social media and on Google. Google is your friend. Ask questions. Where can I get fundings? How do I get money? How do I access this? What do I do? Ask questions. And if you can't ask Google, ask your neighbor. Say, "I'm looking for funding though." What they will tell you. Somebody will tell you the group to join, what to do, and how to go about it. One key thing that has changed the world this whole COVID-19 period is the fact that all those small businesses that did not have a website, social media page, and handle did not sell anything this period. So while
Yes.
some people were complaining and some people were saying, "Oh, no money, my business about to die," I'm sorry, I'm just wondering, why will your business not die? You didn't do the right things though. There was no website. There was no online
Yeah.
social media presence. Nobody knew you had a business. You didn't even post anything on WhatsApp for your contacts, even to you have a business. So how are you not going to die? It's almost inevitable that the business is going to go down. But if you have to, my advice now is for those that are still surviving, go and get a website, go and get social media presence, post on it, make sure it's
Yeah.
arranged. And if you don't know what to do, please seek help and let people help you do it well. I tell you, what is worth doing is worth doing very well. So you see two people selling chips, right? And one has it well packaged, arranged. You'll be wondering, is it only chips? And then you see somebody selling chips, dirty packaging, scattered nylon. You too self will be like, "I don't want to eat these plantain chips." And then you see some. I saw one plantain chips. I said, "Give me, I will buy. Give me 5." The container was nice. The packaging was on point. I'm like, only plantain chips. Even there was a client of mine. Sorry, I want to digress a bit, but as in, I was thrilled. So I interviewed her yesterday, and she said, "Oh, I'm going to send my product to you." I haven't spoke to you about. When I saw the product, I was like, this is fantastic. Oh my God. I thought I bought a UK product. Nice box, nice packaging, everything on point. I was thrilled. I had to send a message and say, "See, I buy products, I buy stuff. But this stuff is amazing." And people need to go the extra mile. I tell people, have the right attitude, have the right passion about the business. Please, if you want to do a business, do a business. If you want to do a side hustle, stay clear. This is a side hustle. I'm hungry. I'm just trying to just make some extra money. But if it's a business, they do it well. Make sure it's right, the packaging. When people see you and that they know, like people meet you and say, this person's business is not a side hustle. You can't tell. And then when people see some, say, this one will not go far. This business will not last 3 years. And most times the truth. And the truth about businesses is that, especially in Nigeria, where it's so difficult to run a business, more than 95% of them don't last 5 years because they do not get the things right. Like, they're not doing what they need to do right. And so there's no passion, no attitude, no persistence, no consistency, nothing. It's not a business anymore. It's just a corner side, roadside business. Now, to the last point, where if you have done all this and you really think that you need money for expansion and you want to grow your business, then, okay, so let's talk about the guys giving money. So we have CBN is giving out some funds. You have Bank of Industry is giving out funds, and you have I think Development Bank is one of them. For the NGOs, I know Ford Foundation, yes, is giving out funds to people doing business. The microfinance banks are also filling that gap a lot for SMEs because they know that you can't provide all the documents the big banks want. Bring the house, bring your car, bring this, bring that. So this microfinance bank are like the bridge between the CBN and the big banks and you. So not to mention any name, but a few of them are doing really well. So if you do Google, you see the interest rate is also not that high, so it's less than 10%. But they just need to also see these things I've mentioned. They need to see consistency. They need to see that you've done this business for a while. They need to see that you have the right attitude and passion, that you're not going to start this business and after 1 month you run away with their money. There's so many things they need to check because they don't want to lose their money. I hope I've touched all the points that you really needed.
Yes, you touched all the points. I'm looking at the time, and I don't want Instagram. I don't want us to lose this video.
Okay.
This session, yeah. So we'll continue on the group. Like I said, if you want to learn more, the link to join our group is on the bio. Our Instagram handle is there too. We're always dropping information, and I'm sure we're going to get more information around this funding thing and how to and work on ways to work on these challenges, especially so that small businesses can access the funds that are available. Thank you very much for your time, Linda. Somebody said networking. I think for you to work with people or get offers, I think you have to have value. Also, I think character is important. You as an entrepreneur, you are a brand. Do you keep to your words? That's very important.
Very important.
Small business owners, you need to keep to your words. That's another thing. Trust. I dropped something today on the group, performance versus trust. So sometimes you perform, but the trust is not there. So that doesn't bring you a returning customer. That gets you frustrated. Exactly. Raising money even for yourself, making profits is a problem. So these are the things that that entrepreneurs need to consider. Thank you very much, Linda. Okay, so those links that you sent, I'm going to share them on the group. And yes, I'll share them on the group, and then we can take it up from there. We may have another conversation very soon.
No problem.
I know you will not say no.
I will come. No, I can't say no.
Of course, you have to be available. Thank you everyone that joined us. Thank you so much. Yes, I had a nice time. Thank you. All right then.
Thank you.
Bye, Linda. Yeah, bye.